Good evening, everybody. Oh my god. How y'all doing? It's been over a month since the last reading stream. God damn. But hey, I worked up the willpower to get back into it. So hey, here we are. How you doing, Veronica Staten? How you doing, Ferris? Ferris isn't there? Or nah, Fairs isn't here. There you go. Fairs isn't here. How y'all doing? Good evening. I attritioned out of readings because of the editing thing. Not that that's hard, but like I can't bring myself to look at the editing software for so long. Without like having a mental breakdown. So that kind of wore on my desire to read. So I'm going back to just cutting up the stream segments instead of editing them. Doesn't seem to matter. Yeah. This evening we have 4 things on the docket. 3 SCPs, 1 backrooms level. They are relatively long. We will probably only be able to get these 4 done tonight. But if I feel like we got extra time after, then maybe I'll grab another. What the hell? Keep hearing something connecting and disconnecting in this room. But I have no idea what. It's freaking me out. Alright, anyway. Y'all want Science Weeble back? God, it's been so long since you've seen him. There he is! Hey! What up? It's me, ya boy, Science Weeble. Here to read some SCPs. So, the 4 things we have this evening are SCP-5794, Drowning, SCP-5696, One Last Ace, Paradise 977, The Gates of Heaven, and SCP-7255, Sauna Bonds. You're all gonna get to hear me butcher finish. It'll be great. So true. So sad, but true. God, I wish I could play Alan Wake 2. So mad. So mad, dude. Fuck Epic Games, man. Ugh. They won't let me play their video games. Pissing me off. Pissing me off. Yeah, let's turn the music down to about like what? Like right here. That should be good. All right. let's get started. I want to listen to you. All right. Drowning. Item number 5794. Containment class safe. Level 2 restricted. Disruption class Vlam. Risk class caution. Special containment procedures. SCP-5794 has been closed permanently under the pretense of public safety concerns. Security equipment has been installed to prevent unauthorized access. Testing is currently suspended indefinitely following Incident 5794-P. Description: SCP-5794 is the main pool of Green Cliff Community Recreation Center, located in Green Cliff, Wisconsin. Initially opened in 1998, the pool operated normally until a series of drowning deaths occurred in 2017. 3 weeks following the first death, a pool employee retrieved the first instance of SCP-5794-1, and Foundation agents embedded in local law enforcement were alerted. SCP-5794-1 instances are paper slips containing brief messages. Each message identifies the sender and a recipient, followed by varying lengths of text. All recovered SCP-5794-1 instances have listed a drowning victim of SCP-5794 as the sender, and have been addressed to close friends or family members. SCP-5794-1 instances are fully waterproof, but display no other anomalous properties. Following the death of researcher Victor Kato in Incident 5794-A, Foundation personnel are prohibited from entering the main pool of SCP-5794 until further notice. Video log Incident 5794-A. Date: September 6th, 2017. Subject: SCP-5794, Greencliff, Wisconsin. Team Lead: H. Alvarez. Team Members: M. Turner, V. Kato, S. Sharp. Begin log. Alvarez, Turner, Kato, and Sharp stand outside the main door to SCP-5794. The team activates their recording equipment.
Everything on? Yep. No problems here. Let's roll. Alright. Are you all set too? It's alright. Yes.
The team opens the door and sets up beside the pool.
Anything on chemical analysis? Just water, some remaining chlorine, and trace amounts of human urine. Nothing unexpected.
Sharp, facing away from the pool, glancing at Turner's laptop screen.
Yeah, it looks all normal. I don't see why it shouldn't be safe to touch. Good. This should be pretty straightforward then. Just grab a couple samples that we can analyze more carefully back in the lab. My apologies. Any of you want to check for more of the slips? What's his name? Kato. Kato hasn't done anything yet. He could do it.
Alvarez turns away from the group to face Kato, who nods and walks to the edge of the pool, kneeling to get a better look at the surface. Alvarez to Sharp at a loud whisper.
Sharp, you can't speak like that on duty. Sorry, sir, it's just... Well, you know how he is. I don't think he's spoken to me once, so it's kinda hard to remember his name. You'll get away with it now as a junior researcher on low-level anomalies. But be careful, alright? You're a good kid.
Faint splashing can be heard in the background, but the source is not visible on Alvarez's camera.
Sorry. It's fine. Kato's not that bad, really. He's just shy. Guess he's just not a people person, you know? Then again, neither are we.
Sharp chuckles and Alvarez briefly smiles before turning back to the laptop's readout.
Can't I get any work advice? Haven't you been here for 4 years? So? I need it more.
Alvarez, Turner, and Sharp continue to chat for several minutes. The conversation has been removed for clarity.
Say, shouldn't Kato have found something by now?
Alvarez turns back towards the pool. A dark shape is visible on the water's surface.
Kato? Shit. Is that him? Oh my god. Wasn't anyone watching him? Didn't think we would need to.
Sharp runs towards the edge of the pool, but is stopped by Alvarez.
Don't get in the water. Turner, call Site 392 and get a drone over here. They'll never make it in time. In time for? To save him? I think we're a bit beyond that point.
The retrieval team from Site 392 arrived shortly after and successfully recovered the body of researcher Victor Kato via remotely controlled drone. The following investigation concluded that Kato likely slipped on the wet floor while reaching for an instance of SCP-5794-1 and fell into the pool where he drowned. Testing to determine whether SCP-5794's effects contributed to the drowning was not approved. End log. 3 weeks after Incident 5794-A, the first SCP-5794-1 instances relating to the death of researcher Victor Kato appeared within SCP-5794. They were addressed to SCP-5794's lead researcher, Dr. Hadrian Alvarez. Testing is currently approved on using researcher Victor Kato's previous experience in the Foundation. Testing is currently focused on using researcher Victor Kato's previous experience in the Foundation to provide further information on the anomaly via SCP-5794-1 instances. Addendum. 6th of July, 2017. In a test conducted by junior researcher Sabrina Sharp, it was determined that leaving paper slips similar to SCP-5794-1 in the water of SCP-5794 influenced the responses on instances of SCP-5794-1. Initial testing log. Procedure. Messages are delivered by drone to the main pool of SCP-5794. The pool is monitored for instances of SCP-5794-1, which are retrieved for analysis. Test 1. Date: 7th of July, 2017. Foundation message. Are you receiving this message? From Victor Kato to Hadrian Alvarez. Message. Yes. Who are you? Test 2. 8th of July, 2017. Foundation message. This is Researcher Sharp of the SCP-5794 research team. From Victor Kato to Sabrina Sharp. Message. Oh, thank God, I was getting worried nobody would find my letters. Hello, Sharp. I heard what you said in the pool. Notes. Researcher Sharp became emotional after viewing the SCP-5794-1 instance, and requested another researcher complete the remaining testing for the week. SCP-5794 lead researcher Dr. Alvarez granted the request, citing Sharp's inexperience at the Foundation. Test 3, 8th of July, 2017. Foundation message. This is Alvarez. Can you tell us a bit more about SCP-5794? From Victor Cato to Adrian Alvarez. Message. It's dark in here. It's like one of those dimension things I read about. It smells like chlorine and it's wet. I can't really describe it in a way that makes sense. There's paper, and stacks of paper. Sometimes what I write makes it out to you, I guess. What do you need to know? Notes. SCP-5794 instance recovered on the 15th of July, 2017. Test 5. 16th of July. Date, 16th of July, 2017. Foundation message. This is Researcher Sharp. Research Lead Alvarez is unavailable at the moment. We need the information for the SCP-5794 file. From Victor Cato to Sabrina Sharp. Message. They meant it when they said the job never ends. Test 6. Date, 16th of July, 2017. Foundation message. They did. From Victor Cato to Sabrina Sharp. Message. I've already told you everything useful. You're going to stop talking to me now? Test 7. Date, 16th of July, 2017. Foundation message. Testing hasn't concluded yet. Message. That's not really an answer. Yes, I just wish someone would actually want to talk to me. Very lonely in here, you know? There's nothing but me and the water. Though you didn't talk to me when I was alive, either. Test 8. Date, 17th of July, 2017. Foundation message. We're talking to you now. From Victor Cato to Sabrina Sharp. Message. Only because you have to. Test 9. Date, 18th of July, 2017. Foundation message. None. From Victor Cato to Sabrina Sharp. Message. If you talked to me earlier, wouldn't I still be alive? Addendum, 18th of July, 2017. Junior researcher Sabrina Sharp called a meeting for the SCP-5794 research team to discuss concerns surrounding the contents of SCP-5794-1 instances originating from researcher Victor Cato's death. Testing involving SCP-5794-1 instances was temporarily halted. SCP-5794 Research Team Meeting, 18th of July, 2017. Date, 18th of July, 2017. Subject, SCP-5794 Research Team Meeting. Team Lead, H. Alvarez. Team Members, M. Turner, S. Sharp, X. Joe. Begin log.
So, SCP-5794-1?
Yes, sir. I just have some concerns.
I see. Haven't gotten a chance to see any of them yet. They logged anywhere?
They're, recorded on the file, sir.
Give me 1 second. Are you alright? You look a bit pale.
Yeah. Just shaken up a bit from the messages, I think, which is why I called this meeting.
Alvarez, skimming SCP-5794's file.
If you want, we can transfer Joe onto message analysis and shift you onto something more lab side.
Yeah, I can do it if you want. No, it's fine. I wouldn't want to bother you. You don't have to.
It's not him, you know. The messages, they aren't from Cato. It's the anomaly speaking.
How do you know that?
I mean, it doesn't really sound like him.
Do we even know how he sounded like?
Alvarez shrugs.
I did at least somewhat. Sometimes there's no way to know for sure, but you sleep better this way. Trust me.
Want to believe it, Dr. Alvarez. It's just so hard when you're sitting there and reading them and...
I know you're new, Sharp. You can't think like that here.
No, I'm trying. It's just... Whenever I read one of the messages, it doesn't sound like an anomaly. It sounds like him.
Thought he never spoke to you.
You know what I mean.
Sharp appears visibly distressed.
I just can't stop thinking about how lonely he must have been, how lonely he still is.
It's not your fault, Sharp. We all should have been... Turner, not now. Sharp, it's in your best interest not to dwell on it. The messages are from the anomaly. Keep logging them, but if this keeps bothering you, I will not hesitate to have you transferred. Sound good?
All right.
End log. Notes. After the meeting concluded, testing on SCP-5794-1 instances was cleared to resume. Second testing log. Test 10. Foundation message. You previously stated that you were in an alternate dimension. Can you provide a further description? Can you see things, feel things, etc.? Date recovered. 20th of July, 2017. From Victor Kato. To Sabrina Sharp. Message. Not really. Can't understand it without being it. The state of existence and location rolled up into one. The others are here too, the people that drowned before they called in our team, but they don't understand it. Without exposure to the anomalous, they just sort of float, if that makes sense. They aren't cognizant enough to speak, so it's still just me in the water. It's almost lonelier in a way to be so close to company. I think I'd be used to this by now, though. It's always sort of been just me. Wasn't popular in school, though I suspect that's not unusual for anyone that works here, and my parents never thought I was good enough. They still don't, because I couldn't tell them what I truly did for a living. My friends have always had someone better. Hope the Foundation might be different. It wasn't. Test 10. Foundation message. I'm sorry. Sharp. Date recovered. 21st of July, 2017. From Victor Kato to Sabrina Sharp. Message. They say drowning is the worst way to die. I remember splashing, calling. You guys just kept going and going, caught up in your own world until the water closed over my head. I'm still underwater, even here. The water's still choking out my lungs and chlorine is still burning through my eyes. You can say your apologies now. Why didn't you look over? Why didn't you notice me? You're the reason I'm dead. Foundation message. What's done is done. Sharp. Date recovered. 22nd of July, 2017. From Victor Kato to Sabrina Sharp. Message. Is it? I may be gone, Sabrina, but you could still help me. I'm not an SCP. I'm not an anomaly. I know what they've been saying to you. I'm just using one to talk to you. The others don't understand. They will never understand. They didn't understand me either. But you do. You could join me here, and I'll finally have my company. Your mistake cost me my life. Isn't it only fair that I get yours? Level 4 credentials required. Incident 5794-B. Credentials accepted. Video log. Incident 5794-B. Date 1st of August, 2017. Subject SCP-5794, Greencliff, Wisconsin. Team Lead H. Alvarez, off-site. Team Members M. Turner, off-site. X. Joe, off-site. S. Sharp. Begin log. Sharp stands in the observation area of SCP-5794. The remainder of the team is nominally assigned to observe from Site-392. But only Turner is actively tuned into the communication channel. 15 minutes elapse in silence while Sharp conducts a survey of the area for new instances of SCP-5794-1.
Nothing in the last week.
It's not unusual for anomalies to be sporadic. Plus, I think we're mostly done with active testing anyway. Might be time to ask Alvarez to move to weekly checks.
Yeah, maybe.
Alright, I'm gonna head out to grab lunch then. You got a ride back to the site?
Yeah.
Cool. See you at the weekly debrief tomorrow then?
Mm-hmm.
Turner disconnects from the communication channel, leaving Sharp alone on the observation deck. Instead of heading for her designated Foundation vehicle, Sharp remains in the observation area. She stares through the observation glass for several minutes before beginning to speak. This behavior was initially disregarded by the Foundation automatic monitoring program, as Sharp was noted to have a history of talking to herself.
They didn't warn me about this, when I signed up. I mean, I knew that people would die, but I didn't think about it,
Sharp pauses, fidgeting with her pen.
Alvarez is right. I'm not cut out for this job. He can make himself believe that it's the anomaly speaking. Maybe he's right. Maybe it is. We've been testing it for a month and nobody has a clue, but they're all just so cold, and I'm not.
Sharp reaches down and retrieves various instances of SCP-5794-1 from her field backpack. While technically authorized to handle instances of SCP-5794-1, Sharp had not notified the rest of the research team that she had removed the instances from their storage locker.
I can't do this. I can't do this job. Why did I take this job? Should have done something the first time in the pool. What could I have done?
Suddenly, Sharp looks back over the water. An SCP-5794-1 instance is visible, and Sharp quickly collects it and brings it back onto the observation deck. She inspects the instance, visibly distressed, and starts crying. Video quality is too low to determine the text, but later video analysis would detect a minor cognitohazardous effect originating from the instance. It is unknown if the effect was dampened by the video, but similar effects have not been observed in any other instance.
I could have saved him the first time, couldn't I? Forrest stopped me, but I could have fought him off. I could have jumped in, even if the anomaly almost drowned me. At least Kato wouldn't have had to been alone.
Sharp suddenly stops. A few seconds of rapid breathing are audible before the recording equipment is manually deactivated. End log. Notes: the sudden deactivation of the recording equipment was flagged as a breach of protocol by the equipment's automatic monitoring program. When Foundation personnel arrived at SCP-5794, approximately 15 minutes later, researcher Sabrina Sharp was found dead in the pool, presumably drowned. All remaining members of the SCP-5794 research team are facing disciplinary action for their negligence in both Incident 5794-A and Incident 5794-B. An investigation is ongoing. No further instances of SCP-5794-1 related to the death of researcher Victor Kato have been recovered. And done. Wow. Wasn't that fucked up? Bro, that's crazy. What do you think? Do you think it was him? Or do you think this is the anomaly just trying to get people to kill themselves? Does anybody know? Does anybody really know? I'm assuming the person who wrote it, mate. Might. It's up to you to figure it out. Anyway, that's the first one down. Not the last one we got for the night, though. One second. Alright. You know what might be fun because it's October? I should go find some creepypastas and read those. Instead of just SCPs all the time. I'm wrapping backrooms up in there because their backrooms are very SCP derived. So like they're kind of the same thing. But yeah, maybe. Bum. What's even playing? I don't have my headphones on. What the music is. Oh, it's Apartment Hall 2. Nice. Spooky. Sorry. Need to fix something. There we go. Alright. Next up we got... It's 56 and 96. Let me take a drink. And we'll get into this as well. Alright. Go. Sorry, something was on my glasses. There we go. Alright. Next up is... One Last Ace. Item number SCP-5696. Object class safe, neutralized. Special containment procedure. Oh. We're gonna restart. I just realized this song has like no fucking music in it. So I'm gonna get rid of it. There we go. Sorry about that. This one is so fucking quiet. I'm gonna turn the music up a bit. There. One Last Ace. Item number SCP-5696. Object Class: Safe, Neutralized. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-5696 is kept in Anomalous Item Locker number 5696 at Site-19. No further procedures are considered necessary. Initial Containment Procedures. Prior to entering SCP-5696-A, subjects are to be given a button camera, fashioned to look like a pin supporting William H. Thompson for the 1931 Chicago mayoral election. The camera should be placed on the subject's left lapel after entering SCP-5696-A. During the displacement of SCP-5696-1 into SCP-5696-A, the SCP-5696 testing chamber is to be monitored for their return. Description: SCP-5696 is a revolver resembling a Smith & Wesson M&P .39.30.38 in both function and design. The weapon bears two engravings, the first being a manufacturer engraving along the cylinder, reading S&W Model EO11CS. Footnote: no such model is known to have been produced. And the second on one side of the barrel reading, "Finish this job. Kill that cheating bastard." Sick. When SCP-5696 is held in the right hand of a subject, and the cylinder is opened using that hand, the subject, henceforth SCP-5696-1, will be displaced into SCP-5696-A. Footnote: this is no longer the case following Test 5696-129. SCP-5696-A refers to an alternate dimension consisting primarily of a nightclub named the Dying Roses, a building that was once located at blank Division Street, Chicago, which closed in 1956. Displaced subjects will find themselves dressed in formal attire appropriate for the early 1930s, regardless of what they were dressed in prior to displacement. This includes a striped suit and matching dress pants, a blue tie, white undershirt, and a striped fedora. All objects on their person will have demanifested until their return, where they will find themselves dressed in their original clothing with the same belongings. Alterations to the subject's physical body made while within SCP-5696-A will remain, however. Note that SCP-5696-1 will displace with $1, $5, and $10 bills in varying amounts, totaling up to $100, in their left inner coat pocket. Footnote: note that due to inflation, this would be worth approximately $1,550 to $1,890 in 2022. No items can be brought out of or taken into SCP-5696-A, with the exception of any object held in SCP-5696-1's left hand during their removal from our dimension. Displacement only occurs within subjects who meet a certain set of physical specifications. See Document 5696-M5 for full list. These include particular height and BMI limitations, but do not include race or sex requirements. When viewed upon immediate entry, the area surrounding the Dying Roses consists of empty space. SCP-5696-A will construct an environment dependent on the needs or requirements of SCP-5696-1. This usually begins with a cityscape of apartment buildings, but has also included rival clubs, hospitals, fire stations, and police stations. SCP-5696-A also creates smaller objects as needed, including, but not limited to, telephone poles, call boxes, and motor vehicles. During their shift into SCP-5696-A, the subject will experience a series of semi-predictable events. Events that occur can have varying outcomes, or be prevented entirely, based on the actions taken by SCP-5696-1. While in SCP-5696-A, in some cases, actions have been led to notable and/or unusual events occurring. See Addendum 5696-2. None of the events are particularly anomalous, but rather reflect real actions that may have been taken by the involved entities, and the consequences thereof. The following details the most commonly recorded series of events. Zero hour to 1. SCP-5696-1 will be ushered to a seat at the bar as they wait for the rest of their party. Footnote. This is also often recorded as wait for Mr. Jackson and his friends, as well as wait for your friend and the others. Although subjects may do as they please. Subjects have been recorded as having ordered food and drinks. Footnote. Despite evidence suggesting that the substance has been outlawed within SCP-5696-A's simulated society, the beverages often contain alcohol. Purchasing cigars or cigarettes, interacting with waitstaff and other customers, speaking with and/or paying stage dancers, and in some cases, engaging in hand-to-hand combat. Footnote. This usually occurs due to subjects catcalling certain dancers whose husbands are in the establishment. 101 to 145. 5 men, SCP-5696-2, -3, -4, -5, -6, will enter the establishment over the course of 45 minutes and mill about the area. They most commonly spend this time sitting next to each other at the bar and ordering various drinks. Each of them will eventually begin to smoke and talk among themselves. 146 to 159. SCP-5696-2 through -6 will enter a room at the far end of the establishment that is closed off by a pair of red curtains. SCP-5696-1 will be ushered into a room by a member of the waitstaff and will be introduced to the men as Mark Kennedy of the CPD. Footnote. Chicago Police Department. He's here on behalf of Niti's gang. Footnote. This likely refers to Frank Nitti, de facto leader of the Chicago outfit following Al Capone's arrest in 1931. They will stare at the SCP-5696-1 in silence for roughly 5 seconds before laughing and shaking their hand. SCP-5696-5 will offer SCP-5696-1 a cigarette if they don't already have one, and the member of waitstaff will offer them a drink. SCP-5696-5 will show them to an open seat around a table covered in green felt. 2 to 6. SCP-5696-1 through -6 will begin to play Texas Hold'em using direct monetary bets. From here, similarities become less common, and the timeline of events begins to differ due to subject input. Play styles, game outcomes, conversation topics, and general actions influence what occurs. Addendum 5696-1. Characteristics of SCP-5696-2 through -6. Note: the following information has been gathered through a total of 129 tests. SCP-5696-2. Name: Jack Walker. Age: 37 to 40. Relatives: single, never married, no children. Profession: trumpet player, the Jimmy Michaels Brass Band. Playstyle: quiet, only makes safe bets. Notes: does not drink as he believes the hangover ruins his performing abilities. Often leaves the table for fresh air. Occasionally performs with the Dying Roses Jazz Band when he is having a particularly good night. Displays nervousness when involved in conversations regarding all law-related subjects. Has occasionally claimed to know SCP-5696-1 from work. SCP-5696-3. Name: Casey Malkovich. Age: 22 to 23. Birthday occasionally occurs. Relatives: girlfriend, no children. Profession: underground boxing champion. Playstyle: bluffs often, folds rarely. Notes: overdramatic personality. Has repeatedly made threats to fight every person in this godforsaken hellhole if I lose this next hand. Attends the University of Chicago, but refuses to state his major. Always has a large sum of money on his person. SCP-5696-4. Name: Roy Jacobson. Age: 25 to 29. Relatives: single, never married, no children. Profession: unemployed. Playstyle: unfamiliar with the game, makes large bets apparently at random. Notes: claims to be the son of a millionaire Wall Street broker, regularly offers to buy drinks for every person at the table, occasionally for the entire population of SCP-5696-A. Often becomes overly inebriated, and has been caught paying dancers and crying to them on more than 35 occasions. Dodges questions regarding personal matters of all forms. SCP-5696-5. Name: Jake Rose. Age: 32. Relatives: married, one son. Playstyle: exceptional bluffing, rarely makes a net loss. Notes: served as a rifleman in the First World War. Often shares war stories, most commonly a story regarding a grenade shrapnel wound sustained in the upper right thigh. Became an expert at poker while in the trenches. Is business partners with SCP-5696-6, but claims he does not participate in illegal activity. Claims the nightclub is named after the one time a bullet hit the very top of my helmet and nearly killed me. SCP-5696-6. Name: Clyde Jackson. Age: 33. Relatives: married, one son, one daughter. Playstyle: average, occasionally makes larger bets when on a losing streak. Notes: proprietor of the Dying Roses, is involved with the Chicago outfit, and regularly discusses the location's use as a front for cocaine production and sale, despite the Chicago outfit's distaste for drug use. Served with SCP-5696-5 in the First World War. Usually jovial, even in dark times. Occasionally has his wife visit the establishment, and spends considerable amounts of time talking about his family. Addendum 5696-2. List of notable discrepancies. Test number 3. Time 1:20. Event: a female test subject was used. SCP-5696-1 was removed from the building for impersonating Mr. Kennedy. She even wore his fucking clothes. SCP-5696-A was viewed, forming a full cityscape. SCP-5696-1 spent the remainder of the time in the parking lot and wandering through the streets of SCP-5696-A. Test number 24. Time 5. Event. SCP-5696-1 repeatedly bet all their money on their person. Footnote: this is often considered rude or unsportsmanlike. SCP-5696-3 punched SCP-5696-1, knocking them unconscious. Test number. Number 27. Time 3:25. Event. 2 thieves attempted to rob the nightclub at gunpoint. Every patron and member of the waitstaff drew a firearm on the thieves, including SCP-5696-1. They left peacefully. Test number 39. Time 2:05. Event. SCP-5696-1 immediately shot SCP-5696-6 for losing a hand to him, and was immediately fired upon by SCP-5696-5. SCP-5696-1's corpse was transported and dumped into the Chicago River. SCP-5696-1 returned dead, with 5 bullet wounds in the chest, and entirely soaked. Test number 52. Time 4:45. Event. SCP-5696-1 requested a taste test from SCP-5696-6 during a conversation regarding drug sales. SCP-5696-6 obliged. During the last hour, SCP-5696-6 led SCP-5696-1 around a back room. SCP-5696-1's coat accidentally caught fire, causing him to panic. He ripped the jacket off and threw it into a puddle of spilled alcohol, setting the establishment ablaze. -1 returned with severe 3rd-degree burns. Test number 66. Time 4:30. Event. -1 had won each hand played that session. -6 bet the deed to the establishment. -1 played 4 aces. Time 5. Event. -1 had all patrons and all but 2 waitstaff members removed from the location, including -2 through -6. -1 spent the night becoming intoxicated among the female performers and engaging in sexual activity. Some patrons began to approach a police call box when they were denied re-entry and were stopped by other patrons. Test number 94. Time 1:45. Event. -3 declared that it was his birthday. No playing occurred, and -3 was baked and served a chocolate cake. A portion of the day was spent celebrating his birthday. Test number 105. Time 3:35. Event. In an attempt to make conversation, -1 asked the other players what their favorite television shows were. -1 spent the next hour attempting to explain various products of modern technology to them, before -3 called a hospital. -1 spent the remainder of the night in the back of a white Rolls-Royce, bearing red crosses, where he was questioned about his sanity. Test number 127. Time 5. Event. Test 127 video log. File name test_5696-127. Date January 21st, 2020. Print transcription. Yes. Beginning auto transcription. Skipping to designated event portion. A full transcription may be requested from Dr. Patra, lead researcher on SCP-5696. 4:59. SCP-50... -1 has been looking at -5 on and off over the course of the last 10 minutes.
Okay. What's wrong, kid? Something on my face?
No, I just can't help but notice that what you lack in beauty, you seem to be making up for in card skills. By letting us win some hands, you might have more fun.
Hey, I'm sorry God's been wanting me to have your money. I can't help that. Yeah. I'm sure that's what's going on.
503. -1 folds his current hand, then stands.
Gents, I'm gonna take a piss.
-1 walks around to the left side of the table, despite this being a longer route to the room's exit. 504. -1 removes the pen and sets it on the table by -5.
Hold on to this for me, will you? What, giving up politics, kid? Whatever. Hey, while you're in there, do me a favor and go fuck yourself too.
504 to 509. -1 spends 5 minutes presumably in the bathroom. Note that -5 is recorded removing cards from his current hand and replacing them with cards from his coat via sleight of hand twice. 510. -1 returns and places the pin over his left breast again. -1 shoots -5 through the sternum before turning the gun on -6.
You dirty, cheating bastard! He's been swapping cards for the last 10 hands. Watch this!
-1 kneels down over SCP-5, who is alive but bleeding profusely. He removes -5's coat and holds it upside down, shaking it twice. Cards flutter and fall out the sleeves and pockets. -2 leaves the room unnoticed.
Jesus Christ, Jake.
511. Shouting comes from outside the room.
The Rose is dying! This is the Chicago Police Department. You're all under arrest. Eat shit and lead, pig!
-1 runs for the room's exit and steps through the curtains. Half of the patrons are running for an exit, while the other half have begun flipping tables and firing handguns in the direction of the bar. Including -2. The waitstaff have taken cover under the bar and are firing into the tables. Note that the remaining patrons have removed their jackets, revealing CPD badges on their undershirts.
Holy fuck!
-1 dives behind a table next to another person.
Tough crowd, huh, Mr. Kennedy? Understatement of the century. Hey, help me get the hell out of here. I'd like to be alive when they interview me.
512. 2 members of the waitstaff run out of the door to the back room and duck under the bar. They open fire using Remington Model 31 shotguns.
Ah, shit. Yeah, okay. I'll cover you. Get to the back exit.
The patron gestures behind him. -1 readies himself for a moment before sprinting towards the back exit. -1 screams, falls, and turns around. -6 stands at the other end of the room, aiming a handgun at -1. The patron aims around the table and shoots -6 through the left eye. A member of waitstaff blasts the patron's hand off with a shotgun round. -1 turns his left leg over, revealing a gunshot wound in the upper calf. -1 regains his footing and limps out of the exit, throws off his coat, and wraps his leg in the undershirt.
Fuck.
513 to 515. -1 limps down a alleyway towards a police call box, attempting to put his coat back on. -1 opens the box and removes the telephone.
Hello, officer. Name and badge number.
Officer Mark Kennedy. Fuck me.
SCP-5696 fires in -1's right pants pocket, presumably shooting the ground. -1 removes SCP-5696 and turns it over. The engraving on SCP-5696 barrel reads 1017.
Officer Mark Kennedy, badge number 1017. I'm in need of immediate assistance. I've been shot in the back of the leg at the Dying Roses. May need backup in there. Fucking hell.
Understood. Putting out an urgent call to other officers in the area. Please wait there.
The operator hangs up the phone. 5:15 to 5:17. -1 sits on the ground against the phone post in silence, trying to keep his leg raised. 5:17. A white Model B Ford arrives and 2 others drive past. -1 is loaded into the passenger seat by an unseen figure. 5:17 to 5:59. The figure is dressed in the same clothing as -1 and possesses a similar build. The figure smiles weakly, then begins driving. Note that the figure had a bullet wound in his upper right chest, which appeared to puncture the heart, but was not bleeding. -1 turns to look out the window, then removes the pin and holds it against the glass. The vehicle drives past a line of other iterations of the Dying Roses, most of which are identical in nature. The figure chuckles quietly. One of the locations appears to have been burnt down. The figure stops in front of what appears to be the Rush University Medical Center. The figure enters the hospital, and 4 members of the medical staff run out to the car with a stretcher 5 minutes later. -1 is carried out of the car and into the hospital. Medical staff removed the jacket, and no relevant video was captured until -1's return into our reality. 6. -1 is returned holding the pin and possessing an improperly cauterized wound. Marker marks made along -1's lower leg imply that -A's medical staff intended to amputate the leg. -1 received proper medical care and made a full recovery. End transcription. Test number 128. Time 05. Event. The engraving on SCP-5696's barrel was not present. The interior of the Dying Rose was significantly darkened and contained only 1 person. A spotlight was aimed at a patron dressed in similar clothing and possessing a similar physique to SCP-5696-1, who was sitting at the bar. The figure possessed a CPD badge which he wore openly on his suit. He smiled weakly at -1 and offered them a shot glass filled with scotch. -1 noted that the area felt abnormally cold, but was warmer in the light. The subject and the figure held a toast, then sat in silence for 10 to 15 seconds. The figure stood, removed his badge and firearm, and placed them on the counter. Then turned to leave. He stopped at the door, turned to face SCP-5696-1, thanked them, then left the establishment. The subject spent the remainder of the time in the empty building. Test number 129. Time 0 hour. Event. SCP-5696 did not displace the subject. The engraving on the side of the barrel read, Mark Kennedy, 1901 to 2020. Holy, you've gotta fulfill the prophecy, Batman. You gotta do what he couldn't do. You gotta complete his job. You gotta shoot that cheating son of a bitch. It's like a video game plot. Also, hello, Quazy Quafter. How you doing? Welcome. Thoughts? Good. Yeah, it's a loop of the night with slight differences until you do what the guy failed to do. Mark Kennedy failed to do. but to specifically kill Jake. I'm chilling. Hell yeah, brother. I obviously gave up reading the SCP-5696-2, SCP-5696-6. I gave up reading that halfway through. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. There we go. Easy. Finish this job. Kill that cheating bastard. Gun. Neat. Yeah, that was fun. Longer than I thought it would be, honestly. Check out the link at the bottom. Yeah, I know that. I know there's the link here. I don't have this on my reading list for tonight. All right. Well, we got 2 more left. I don't know if I have time to do them, though. That one took longer than I thought. I don't think I have time to do anymore. Because it's almost midnight. I think I started too late. So yeah, we're going to cancel these 2 for now. We'll do these later. Hopefully sometime soon. Because I'm not doing like videos or whatever. I should be able to do it more because I don't feel so stressed to have to make the video. I should be able to do these more often. Do you mind if I link the stream on my author page? Go ahead. Link it so wheresoever you please. Use the reading for whatsoever you please. Is the nature of SCP. You can use whatever is made out of it for whatever you want. Besides, it's your article I'm reading. It'd be a little bit rude for me to say no, wouldn't it? That'd be a little fucked up. Sick. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Alrighty. Well, yeah. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have for tonight. These 2. We'll do these 2 next time. And probably some others. Hopefully I get to starting earlier next time. I was supposed to start like an hour and a half ago, but I ended up getting distracted. Or an hour and a half before. I did. Anyway. We should be back tomorrow to finish Alien Isolation. We should be able to beat the game. Maybe even the DLC. After that, I'd like to play some horror games of my own choosing for a little bit. I got a bunch of short little horror games I'd like to play that I know no one will ever vote for. So I'd like to check them out. You know how it is. So, thank you all for hanging out. I hope you had a good time, because I certainly did. Y'all have a good night. I'll see you all later.